So today we have a small project we're gonna work on. I'm gonna be changing those two columns here at the front of the house over the overhang, and you can see how this is rotted. So I'm gonna change. These are like about 8 inches from down here, and it goes up to like around 7 inches. I'm gonna get rid of these. I already have two braces, some 4x4s holding it up, so make sure that it's supported. That's been there for a while, so now it's finally time to get rid of these. I mean, it's of no use right now, so you can see how they are. Now you can get these and replace these from probably Home Depot, and these are pretty expensive depending on, especially the ones like these. They start from anywhere from like probably like $80, $90, $100 all the way up to hundreds of dollars. So I'm gonna replace that with these here, pressure treated, kind of weather resistant on that. These are 6x6, so these are pretty hefty boys right there, and again pressure treated so it will withstand the open sun for the weather right there. So I'm gonna put them in right there, and they will fit underneath that beam. That beam is about close to 6 inches on that beam there, so they will fit pretty good there. So what I'm gonna do right now is to remove these things there. I'm gonna try to save this bottom here to see if I can reuse them, but we have our saw, we have our brackets, we have our screws, we have our pry bars, we have our level. We're gonna paint it. We have some paint. We have our drill for concrete. We're gonna be using those screws right there. These are like about a 1/4 inch screws by about 1 inch, and I think they're 1.5 inches long. We have some wood screws. We have everything we need here. We have our lumber. So we're gonna start taking some measurements and start going. So you can see how hollow this is and rotted out. So that's why I don't want to use anything that's not solid. So I'm gonna take the measurement directly from underneath there to the bottom there. I think I will add about probably 1/8 of an inch to it, or a little bit more, just to give it a little bit of play, and then we'll go from there. So we have it at 94.5, which is right here, but I'm gonna give it an extra 1/8 of an inch just for play. I rather have to cut out of it than it cut too short. So definitely 94.5, and we're gonna start cutting this. I'm gonna try to use these at the bottom and at the top. What I did was I just took this and marked this and cut it off, and then we'll put it down at the bottom like this, and then we'll seal it up with sealant. So we're just basically gonna cut it enough for it to fit in the pole. This one will go at the bottom. here we go. So we just finished the top. We're gonna get some caulking and just caulk around that to make it look a little more presentable. Paint that in white. We have our paint there. Do the same thing for the bottom. So we're gonna do the same thing here. Take our measurement, take this out, take our measurement, and then do it again. So I went ahead and I prime it. I'm gonna come back and do some caulking at the top and at the bottom and fix it up nicely. Probably seal it to make sure that there's no water going in. And then I'm gonna paint it, give it the last coat, and then it should look good. But this is how it looks now, guys. Came out pretty good and went really smooth. It took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to do this, and I'm proud of the work. Charlie, I'm out.